What if Minecraft had much more magical villagers? Hello and welcome back to What If, the series where I write a custom Minecraft mod for each and every episode. And today we are back with the final video showcasing my massive villager overhaul mod. If you haven't caught the first 3 episodes of this series, you really owe it to yourself to quickly go catch up on those now. And in those 3 episodes, we've introduced 16 new villagers, each with their own unique set of custom abilities, their own daily schedules, their own happiness, and their own hunger levels. So far we've got lumberjacks chopping down trees, we've got miners going underground and digging up ores, and we've got blacksmiths crafting pretty much anything you can imagine. There are farmers working in the fields, there's ranchers that tend to the animals, and butchers that also tend to the animals. And you'll see guards defending the village. You'll see chefs cooking up delicious meals, teachers making sure the future is bright, and bards playing music and making sure everybody is happy. Your town will also be visited by a merchant every day that will buy and sell goods from you in exchange for emeralds. And you'll also see wandering nomads that will occasionally stop by, and you might be able to convince them to join your growing town. Whew, okay, these things are amazing so far, but we are not done yet. Today, we're gonna bring magic into the village with 3 new powerful villagers. But first, we have a new structure available to us. It's time to open up a library. Now, as you may remember, new structure markers can be purchased in the town hall from the architect for a small emerald fee. And all you gotta do is take that item and place it in an item frame above the doorway, and bam-o, your villagers are gonna start using that structure. So your library is gonna serve 2 important purposes. The first is every afternoon, a small portion of your villagers will saunter over to your library, and once inside, they're gonna find a good book on a bookshelf that you placed there, and they're gonna get to reading. And they'll continue to peruse the literature for quite some time, and as they do, they'll have many chances to increase their intelligence statistic, as well as gain a little bit of happiness. Now, you probably remember last episode that intelligence is a very important stat that each villager has that determines how fast they gain new skills. Of course, the library isn't quite as good as the school is for your children, but it's still a fantastic source of intelligence gains for your villagers, so you definitely want to get them in there and get them reading as soon as possible. The library has another very important feature, and for that, we need to introduce our first new villager. Let's all give a hearty welcome to the Enchanter. When you are ready to take your village to the next level, the Enchanter is going to be your ticket to getting there. He can take just about anything the blacksmith creates, bring it over to his enchanting table in the library, and imbue some crazy enchantments onto all your tools and weapons and armor. So your swords will get sharpness, your armor will get protection, and your tools will get efficiency. And of course, these enchants will consume some lapis, but your miners should have you covered there. The level of the enchant that is applied will directly relate to your enchanter skill level, so the more he skills up in enchanting, the more powerful enchantments he'll have available to him. But that is not all that your enchanter does. He can also craft paper at a crafting table from the sugarcane that your farmer has gathered. And then with that paper and the leather from your butcher, he can start crafting books. And books have 2 very important purposes. The first, of course, is for the school. As I described last episode, the teacher will pick up these books and use them in the school to teach the children at a much faster rate. These things are pretty much like intelligence power boosts for your kids. Now, the second purpose of books is, of course, for them to be enchanted. When your enchanter doesn't have any blacksmith products to enchant, he'll start enchanting the books that he created himself. Now, I know a lot of you are gonna be terribly sad not being able to do all those tedious emerald trades with the vanilla villagers, so consider this a much needed replacement for it. Alright, next I've got a couple of new features that will affect your entire village. The first one is that every villager will now be given a randomly generated name. And these names really help bring your village to life. You'll be able to start remembering your villages on a personal level and get to knowing them all one by one. Of course, you can also give each of your villagers your own custom name if you'd like, with an appropriately named vanilla name tag. Another great new addition to the village is females. That's right, there are now female versions of just about every profession. So now, about 50% of the villagers will be female. And if you use a profession token on a villager to change their profession, they will keep their gender. Moving on to some more new stuff. This one I am incredibly excited to show you guys. You can now right click on any villager to get a super shiny new ultra deluxe amazing interface that will show you everything you want to know about your villager. You can see their full name and their current active skill over here. Down here you can see all their fluctuating numbers on the villager. You can see their health, their hunger, their happiness, and their intelligence. And over on the right side you can see all their professions that the villager has ever had and all the levels of those professions. And of course, down at the bottom, you can see the villager's entire inventory, which is incredibly useful if you're trying to figure out what is going on and what their needs are. All right, let the magic continue to flow. We have a new villager. Let's welcome the Cleric. This divine villager has two impressive powers. First and foremost is his ability to heal other villagers. The cleric will seek out nearby villagers that have lost some health and do his little swishy dance with his hands and bathe his target in healing power. And as a nice side benefit of all this healing, the villager's happiness is raised quite a bit after he's been healed. Now this of course makes the cleric a natural partner with the guard. Both of them can now work together as an incredible duo to patrol the village and keep it safe from all kinds of invaders. Your guards are going to be next to invincible now with a well-skilled cleric backing them up. The cleric has one other magical ability that will prove extremely useful to every villager in town. He can now bless nearby villagers that look like they need a little bit of pick-me-up. And once blessed, the villager will gain a good bit of happiness, but more importantly, he'll begin to move faster than ever before. The more skilled your cleric is, the more beneficial this blessing becomes. So for the next 60 seconds, your blessed villager will be zipping around town, happy as can be, and performing all sorts of tasks. So let's take a look at the merchant. Now, if you remember, he buys and sells villager items and is really the key to growing your village. You sell him all your extra goods in exchange for emeralds, and then use those emeralds to buy new structures, profession-changing tokens, or just extra resources that your villagers might need. Well, now I finished putting in a fairly extensive, fairly cool, self-balancing pricing system for the items that you sell to the merchant. So you can see here visually how selling an item will now affect your economy. As you sell an item, its price will be lowered and all the other items on the market will be proportionally raised. So clearly the best way to gain emeralds is to sell as many different types of items as you can to the merchant. You need to diversify. All right, we've got one more amazing villager for you today, and she is the Druid. Nature lover, professional tree hugger, and one with the earth, the Druid can help your village in one of two very crucial ways. So you've probably figured it out by now, but our miners have a problem. You see, they dig all day long, extending the mine shafts that you set up for them, but unlike most other villager jobs, their work is not renewable. Eventually, they're going to run out of ores to dig up, and this is where our friend the Druid comes in. She has the incredible ability to regenerate the earth. Looking down the length of an existing mine shaft, a Druid can focus their magical energy to regrow some of the earth that's been dug out. Now, what the tunnel is filled up with is highly dependent on the skill of your Druid. At first, it's going to be mostly stone with a bit of iron and coal sprinkled in, but as your Druid skills up, plenty of diamonds and plenty of lapis will be added to the mix, and your miners will have a new best friend. The Druid can also greatly benefit the surface-dwelling members of your village as well. During the morning hours, the Druid will patrol your village looking for anything that grows. She will simply wander over, invoke some of her natural magics, and give the growing plants and trees a surge of growth. Right now, this magic can be applied to all of your farmland, as well as all of the saplings that your lumberjacks have planted. So yeah, you can pretty much consider her a walking bone meal dispenser. And of course, as your Druid levels up, this growth will become more powerful and cover a larger area. Alright, so the last thing I want to mention today revolves around the previously mentioned villager item system that I had in place. Well, it's gone now. Sort of. I did some rethinking and playing through of the mod, and I felt it isolated the mod a little bit too much from normal Minecraft, and I didn't like the way it was feeling. So your villagers will now see and use all types of items in the community storage, including those that you place there yourself. Now, keep in mind that items created and or harvested directly by a villager will still be tagged as a green villager item. And the merchant will still only buy and sell villager items, so getting rich on emeralds will still be a challenge. But I think this balance will end up being just the right blend that we need. You'll be able to directly help out your village as a player, but if you want a booming economy, you're going to be encouraged to diversify and focus on a well-rounded village. So that will do it for today, guys. This is the final what if video that I plan on doing, where I'll be focusing on this villager mod. Soon I'll be taking the what if series back to smaller, more experimental custom mods that I think you'll love just as much. However, after a few more bug fixes, I'll be starting a full let's play, let's dev series that I've been talking about, where I build a village from scratch. I'll be balancing all the game systems, giving a full commentary on how everything works in detail, and making plenty more development changes directly in those videos, so it should be very interesting. And of course, I want to thank all of you for your extreme patience in this. I know it's taken a while for me to get through this. I know a lot of you are extremely eager to get your hands on this mod and start playing it, but I do not want to release it while it is still buggy. So all I can say is I will do the best I can, and I will get it to you soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.